It's snowing. Time to plant seeds outdoors. If you have one of these, congratulations, you can plant a garden. Today we'll be talking about winter sowing in Ziploc or plastic bags. This has got to be the easiest way to start garden seeds. Welcome to Finding Joy in the Garden. Winter sowing is the process of starting seeds outdoors in the cold in containers that act as mini greenhouses. The seeds germinate when the time is just right for them. The classic winter sowing method is with milk jugs, and I covered that in great detail in this video. So if you haven't seen it, take the time to watch it after this one. Now, sowing in milk jugs is great, but sowing in Ziploc bags or plastic bags or freezer bags is another cheap, easy, and fun way to start your seeds. And stick around to the end because I'll be showing you how you can grow more than one type of plant in one bag. We'll be talking about how to choose seeds to grow together in one bag and some other tips for success. Let's get started. You'll need supplies, a freezer bag. Now this bag is a gallon-sized bag, but you can also use a quart-sized bag. I've used this in the past. It works perfectly well. The gallon-sized bag is just bigger. You also need a pair of scissors because you need to cut holes in your freezer bag. What you do not want to do is drown your plants. Whenever you plant anything at all, you need to make sure you have drainage holes in your container. In this instance, the freezer bag is your container. You need something to label your bag with. I like to use this Sharpie paint pen, but you can also use a permanent marker. This one I find the sun does tend to bleach eventually, so I prefer this one here, the paint pen. Make sure you can see it. Some optional but very helpful things include popsicle sticks, which can act as dividers or labels. Or if you prefer, you can use plastic knives, which can serve the same function, and some clothespins. I'll tell you what we'll use that for later. Other items that are not optional at all are seeds and soil. Now for the soil, you want a potting mix, not a seed starting mix or garden soil. Seed starting mix does not have enough fertilizer to keep your plants growing through the long season. You're going to have them outdoors before you transplant them. And garden soil is just too dense. It will not let the roots grow properly. It will smother your crops. I've tried it before. It doesn't work. Don't bother. Now let the games begin. First, we're going to prepare our container, which in this case is our Ziploc bag. And you want to open the bag up first so that you can make holes at the bottom. There aren't any real rules to this. You just want to make holes. I like to cut the corners here. Make one at the other corner. And then in the middle, I just bend it or fold it over and cut it here. All you want is for the water to be able to drain from your container. So I'll turn it over and show you. There's a hole here, one here, and then in the corners, 2 holes here, and 2 here. So that should be enough. Next, we're going to prepare the soil. This is the potting mix straight out the bag. And someone asked me what soil I use. This is the Pro Mix Premium Moisture Potting Mix. And so far, this is the one I've loved the most. If you remember from my other video, I showed the soil I used. It was just some random potting mix I had bought from the big box store, and I did not like the way it worked. It had a lot of bark in it. It wasn't very fluffy. This is just yummy. It feels so good. There are some pieces of bark, but they're few and far between. The other one felt like it was just all bark, and yeah, this is good. So, of course, you don't want to plant your seeds into this soil just like this. You want, see, there's a little bark, but I had to work for it. You don't want to plant into this without pre-moistening it. It makes it much easier if the soil is already moist before you put them in the container. So we're going to do that now. So I have some water and I'm going to mix that into the soil. Let's take this out first. So you want to mix it until the soil is moist. You can squeeze just a little bit of water out of it, but it's not completely dripping wet. So add the water little at a time and then mix it in. It's like you're making dough. Pretend you're making dough. So this should do, and you can see when I squeeze it, a little bit of water coming out there, but not too much. This is perfect. And I got to play in the sand. Now we fill the container with soil, but first we need to decide how we want to label our container. If you look at this gallon bag, you'll notice there is a spot here where you can write. So what you can do is write with a Sharpie what seed you're planting right here. And that works really well, especially if you're only growing one thing in the container. Now, remember, these bags are reusable, so you can wash them, keep them, and use them next season. So if you plan to do that, you might just want to write a little bit here, and then next year you can strike that out and write another one and keep using it. Or the other option is to not write anything here at all and instead label inside the bag with either your popsicle sticks or your plastic knives or spoons. I've used all of them. Anyone will do. Something to write on. Since we'll be filling 2 bags today, I will write on this bag, and then on the other bag, I'll show you how to label it using the labels. So the seeds we'll be planting in this bag is the purple coneflower, which is perfect for winter sowing. It's one of those plants that does very well with winter sowing. It grows through the cold like a champ. So I will label this purple coneflower. And like I said, I plan to reuse this bag next year. So I will write it down here, purple coneflower, leaving enough space where if I need to reuse this bag next year, I have somewhere to write the next seed. Let's fill this baby up. So you simply open the bag. I like to flip the top over like that, and it makes it easier to keep the bag open. And then I just fill it with soil. This is from the Dollar Tree, and it works very well to fill things, containers, if you don't want to get your hands dirty. There's nothing wrong with playing in the dirt, but wow, that was fast. I'm good at this. Okay, so let me put this down here, and I'm going to move this soil out so you can see what I'm doing. So here it is. I'm going to move in a little closer so you can see. There. So what I like to do is kind of form the soil in the bag. So I will bend this over like so, and then pat it down, not firmly, not too hard. There you go. Just shape it. It's almost like a soil block, if you will. So that's where we'll be planting our seeds. And the seed of choice today is the purple coneflower, and it needs to be planted 1/2 inch deep. So see where it says that? Whenever you want to plant seeds, you want to look at the back of your seed packet and it usually will say what depth to plant your seeds. Different companies write it in different places, but look carefully, you most likely see it. This one says 1/2 inch deep. There are some seeds that need to be surface sown, like lavender, so do check to see before you plant them. You don't want to plant them too shallow, you don't want to plant them too deep. So this is 1/2 inch deep, and this is what the seeds look like. So I would like to plant a lot of purple coneflower this year, so I'm going to be putting about this much in this bag, but you don't have to put so many seeds in one bag. You can literally put 5 seeds in here and it will grow very well, probably better than what I'll get, but I just can't. I oversee. It's what I do. And everybody knows that the bottom of your Sharpie is the best thing to make holes with. No, everybody doesn't know that. I just made that up. But I like to make holes with my Sharpie. So I'll just poke a few holes in here and just to mark where I'll be putting the seeds. Sometimes I just drop the seed on the surface and just push it in. There are no rules. Well, there are rules, I just don't follow them. So I'll see how many seeds I can get in here. So you take a seed, and thankfully these seeds are big so I can show you. I did some poppy seeds yesterday and those were tiny. That would not have helped you very much. But see, so I'll just drop it in the hole there. And when I'm done, I will cover them up. So I just put 1 in each hole. Some people like to put 2 in a hole. I don't know that works very well for winter sowing, except if you have a container like this where you're willing to go back and remove the extra seedlings. I just put 1 in a hole, and if it doesn't come up, it doesn't come up. I'll rather plant an extra bag than have to go back and fuss with the winter sown containers. The whole point of winter sowing is to reduce the fuss, okay? Let's not make it fussy. I think I got 2 in that hole, but oh well. It is what it is. No fuss. All right, so all the seeds are in. I'm going to cover them up. Sharpie to the rescue. So just like that. Move some soil around to cover the seeds. I think they're all covered. And then once again, fold over, give it a little tap tap. And the other supply I didn't mention was a spray bottle. You need a spray bottle. Or you can just, I guess, get some water and sprinkle it over. That sounds fussy to me. You know I don't like fussy. So get a spray bottle and just spray, put in some moisture. Done. Now it's time to close it up, and I just unfold. And then it is a Ziploc bag, so I just zip it up. And remember, you don't have any holes at the top, so you do want to have a way to keep it open. So don't zip it all the way to the end. You want to, I zip it all the way to here, let's say, and that should be enough. And then if you leave it this way, it just closes over. There's no hole. So that's where, ding ding, the clothespin comes in handy. You can just put it here to hold it open, and make sure you can see that. You just clip it here where the joint is. You just put it there. Snip. And it holds it open. And then you can decide how big you want the hole to be. There you go. So that's the bag all done and ready for its sojourn outdoors. But wait, there's more. So I pre-filled the second bag because I didn't think you wanted to sit here and watch me do that. But this is the second bag, and I'm going to show you how you can plant 2 different plants in one bag. First of all, let's talk about how to choose what plants you're going to put together. And to illustrate, I have these seeds here. Now I can put any 2 of these seeds in that bag, but it wouldn't be great to have one plant big and towering over the other one, maybe blocking the light. So you do want to find seeds that will grow to approximately the same size in about the same time. So if you have the same type of plant, like for instance, I have a thyme here and a thyme here, and I know they'll probably germinate at the same time and they'll probably grow to the same size, then those two may be compatible and I should put those two in one bag. Now I have this basil here, which is the dwarf Greek basil, and I have this basil here, which is a mammoth basil. They're both basils, but it would probably not be best to put both of them in the same bag, because this one, as the name implies, mammoth, will grow really big, and this one, as the name implies, dwarf, will be very small. So this might be hindered by this one because this may block this the light from this one, and if it goes bigger, it might just suck up all the nutrients, and this one struggles. So instead, I can plant this dwarf green basil, this dwarf Greek basil with this purple ball basil, which is also very small. It doesn't say dwarf on here, but I've grown it. It's small. So I can grow these two together, or I could grow these two together. This is the bush spicy globe basil, and it is small, just like this one. They look identical to me. Now, what I am going to do is grow the dwarf Greek basil and the purple basil, because I can easily see this one has green leaves, this one has purple leaves. So if for some reason the seeds get mixed up, I can tell one from the other. The seeds are very small, so they might get mixed up a little bit, but from the leaves, I'll be able to differentiate them. So I hope that helps you decide what plants you're going to put together if you decide to grow two crops in one bag. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is find a way to separate the soil, and I'm going to be using this to divide the soil. So I'm going to put it right here in the middle and push it down into the soil. And that kind of gives me an idea where one of the basils will be and the other will be. So now, if you are going to be writing the names of the basil on here, you could easily just put a line down here and then write Greek basil and purple basil here. But I was going to show you the other way to label. So instead, we will be doing the labels on these plastic knives. Okay? Purple ball, dwarf Greek. I'm a grown-up. I can write, I promise. So I'll show you the seeds. This is the purple ball basil. And like I said, the seeds are small. Bigger than poppy seeds, but plenty small. And so this is a different seed company, and you can see it has the information here. And the seed depth is 1/4 inch. Holes. Seeds. Cover. Repeat. All right, now you spray. You label. Purple this way, and Greek that way. And the advantage of this here is it does help to hold the bag up. Flip this back over. Zip it up. But remember, not to the end, because you still need airflow and you need water to be able to get in when it rains, when the snow falls. And so, once again, clothespin in the corner to hold it open, adjust the hole, and you, my dear, are done. Well, after you clean up. So that's how you can grow a garden, starting off with just Ziploc bags. Here are the 2 bags we planted in today. I hope it was helpful. If you've ever grown in Ziploc bags, please let me know in the comments below. Leave any tips or tricks you have, any way you do it differently that might help someone in the comments. And please subscribe. I will be doing another video to show you the other ways I have winter sown. There are so many ways to do this, and I hope by sharing this, someone will find one method that works for them. And of course, as the season goes on, you'll get to see these plants in the garden and see how they do. If you like this video or you found any value in it, pretty please take a second to like the video. And if you haven't watched the other video on winter sowing showing milk jug winter sowing, click on this video here. And until next time, may you always find joy in your garden and your life. Bye, garden friend.